Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Monday afternoon, July 27th, and we are looking at the last 2 days of the market profile and part of Thursday's, which was the double distribution. And I basically said this morning I wouldn't be surprised if we traded in the low end of the distribution all day. That's exactly what we did. Very, very quiet day. Volume absolutely horrendous. Right now it's at 45 million with the after hours. Average is down to 73.5 million, which is horrible. So we're not even going to get close to that. No surprise with earnings starting big time tomorrow. The Fed Wednesday, Thursday night, huge earnings. I do think we're going to have a huge move this week at some point. Was this short covering today? Well, this is the ugliest P shape I've ever seen, as we got too long early in the day in A, B, C, so D and E gave it up and then started the same process again. I think, if anything, it was short covering. The market still from Thursday afternoon and Friday was short, so maybe that's all this was. So, again, the buyers won the day, but not impressively whatsoever. I had a decent day. Didn't do much. I had one really good short in J. Missed an add-on in K, which absolutely my fault, which would have been a home run trade, but it is what it is. So today we opened up. Value started off higher. We drove right down, brought it to overlapping the high right away, but we couldn't even get the POC. Couldn't even get the POC. I took a small short looking to get it. I basically broke even on it. Then I took a short above the opening when we first got into the double distribution. I mean, I think net broke even on those two trades. It was just, nothing was happening for me. I did not get involved on the long when it drove up. We started getting to the upper end of the lower distribution. We were getting no distance. Twice I had put plays in. I was trying to buy the 325 puts, and they wouldn't take me. They were spreading them by like 5-6 cents, which with this lack of volume really ticked me off, because they should be in 1 or 2 tick increments when there's no volume or no tempo. So that pretty much ticked me off. Those A shorts, I did the 323s and the 324s that expired today. Then in D period, I actually took a 321 call, thinking that we would hold. I didn't think we'd give up the one-time framing so soon. We did. Got out of them. Again, lost small on those. Had a good play in F. So all this was, all D and E were these week longs puking. So once F started, stopped the one-time framing and got back above Friday's high. Went long and took it up in F and G back to POC. Could have held it longer, but I didn't. But that was a nice trade. Then my best trade to J and K both turned out to be reversal buys. But when J first started, took out eyes low. I was looking for an afternoon pullback low. It actually went back pretty quick. Now, it didn't take out eyes high yet, thank goodness. I ended up getting long about 80 puts, and then finally J came back down, took them off at POC and a little lower. That was my best trade of the day, and then we reversed. K period. J then. When it reversed, I actually went long calls. So the short I took was the 324 puts, which worked out nice, looking for the afternoon pullback low. The call I took was the 322 calls in J period. After I got out of my short, I thought we'd pop the top. Well, K started, and again, we had a reversal bar, but I was so slow on the draw when it came down. Those 322 calls, I bought them at $1. Came down, they were trading at 62 cents, and I just wasn't focused. I could have doubled my money. They went down to 60-something cents, went up to $1.25, $1.30, which is where I took off the ones I was long from up here. So that was a huge miscue on my part, not getting involved down here. And why was it going to be a good play? Why would it have been a good play? For a lot of reasons. It became the afternoon pullback low, number one, but I didn't know that at the time. We were at value low. Value wasn't going to start getting pulled lower at this late in the day. We were above the opening, that's 2. We were above Friday's high, that's 3. The indices were all strong, that's 4. So the odds of going back up were very good. So Happens, I missed it. And I didn't do anything in L&M. There was just nothing there. So I had a decent day. Nothing great, but it was a good day. All right. Destinations for tomorrow. Upside will be today's high of 323.41. And then the ones I've given you, we still have the single prints, right? 323.60. They get filled at 324.65. And then the huge one, 327.23, weekly high. And that's a poor high in the ES. And then filling that huge gap at 332.58. Downside, we're going to use L's high, the price probe. We closed basically right at it, but it doesn't matter. We have to see tomorrow if it's accepted or rejected. 323.28. Then we were 10 wide at 322.44. K's low, which is the afternoon pullback low of 322.17. Today's low of 320.78. 11 wide POC 320.60. 11 wide, which is a naked POC. And then 319.25, which is last week's low. And then let's go to the charts. Monthly. One time framing up, we closed above last year's settlement now, but we're right below last month's high, which by the end of the month, this week, you would like to close above. Weekly, one time framing up 3 weeks. We're still, right now, for now, inside this 8-week balance. You don't want to see that. You want to come out of it. Otherwise, eventually, especially if you take out last week's low, we're going to do some damage to the downside probably. And the daily is now a 9-day balance. Going back to the weekly real quick, I still think we're going to see to the upside either between 330, 335, which would fill this, or we're going to take out last week's low and see 312, 310 down here. I firmly believe that. With all there's going to be a lot of catalysts coming up with the Fed and the rest of those big earnings. And I'm not big on earnings, you know that. But the bottom line is, between Facebook, Apple, Google, and Amazon, they run, the S&P right now. So if it's a mixed bag, then maybe I'm wrong and we don't get as big a reaction. But if you get any continuity from those 4 companies' earnings plus the Fed on Wednesday, I firmly believe we're going to get that move that fills this gap and we start attempting the all-time highs sooner, or we take out this low and then go down to these 2 weekly lows to the 310, 312 area. I wish I knew which one it was going to be. Market-generated information is going to tell us, and I think we're going to see sooner rather than later. Come check us out, camelbacktrading.org. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.